isn't meant to be an occasional conversation. It's meant to saturate our everyday life. This is the call on our life as parents. It's not about being perfect parents. It's about being present parents who consistently point our children towards Jesus. So how do we do that? As parents, there are moments that we wonder, am I doing this right? We are bombarded with parenting philosophies, social media opinions, and well-meaning advice. It's easy to feel like we're spinning in circles, unsure of which direction to go. So who can tell me, what does a compass do? It provides direction. It guides us just like God's word. But watch what happens if I take a magnet and put it up to this compass. Yeah, so what happened? Even though the compass is built to show direction, outside influences can distort it. It's still a compass, but now it's unreliable. And as parents, when we allow culture and fear, busyness, all of those things to interfere with our walk with Jesus, our spiritual compass gets thrown off just like that compass just did. When we align ourselves with God's word, our spiritual direction becomes clear. Jesus said, anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise. He is our true north. He's unmoving, unwavering, unchanging. As parents, we cannot give what we do not have. If we're not regularly studying God's word and leading our families to Jesus, we cannot expect our children to know or follow his voice. They're watching us and following the direction that we set. The magnet doesn't just pull our compass, it pulls theirs too. Deuteronomy 6:5-7 says, Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road and when you lie down and when you get up. God gives parents a very clear message: to love him deeply and to lead intentionally. Faith isn't meant to be an occasional conversation or a Sunday-only event. It's meant to saturate our everyday life, just like the verse said. When you sit at home, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. This is the call on our life as parents. It's not about being perfect parents. It's about being present parents who consistently point our children towards Jesus. So how do we do that? We start by living it ourselves. Share your faith with your children. Be the example of what following Jesus looks like. Open a Bible together. Talk about spiritual things at the dinner table or when you're traveling in a car. Pray with them. Walk closely with Jesus yourself, because where you lead, they will follow. All right, we have Amelia with our next Bible point.
When we feel alone, we can. Again?
Good, huh? Yep, you're good.
When we feel alone, we can.
There you go.
Come to me, all you who were really and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28.
Good job, Amelia. Everybody give her a big round of applause. All right, let's be honest. Parenting can feel incredibly lonely at times, right? We scroll through the social media reels and see everyone's highlight reel, the perfectly posed family portraits, the kids eating broccoli voluntarily. and the dad's coaching Little League. Meanwhile, there's some days that we're just proud that nobody had Pop-Tarts for dinner, right? So there's a hidden pressure to be the strong one, to be the consistent provider, to be the rock of the family. And yet behind the scenes, many moms and dads are silently exhausted, wondering, am I doing enough? Am I getting this right? Does anyone see how hard I'm trying? The good news is that God didn't bring us all together and call us the church just so that we could smile at each other on a Sunday morning and pretend everything is fine. He placed us in community to walk through life together, to help each other when we struggle, to sharpen one another, to build each other up. When my 16-year-old son and I were fighting about his grades, and he ran away from home, guess who showed up in both of our lives? My small group and the members of this church. When my mother, who had struggled with alcoholism her entire life, was really sick, and I was struggling with unforgiveness and grief, guess who showed up in my life? My small group and members of this church. When my mother passed away and I was away from my kids in another state and they needed love and comfort that I couldn't be there to give, guess who showed up for them? My small group and members of this church. What those people did didn't solve my problems, but it did remind me that I'm not carrying this alone. And that's what Jesus offers in Matthew 11:28. He doesn't say, get it together or smile and pretend that everything's great. No, he says, come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. You were never meant to parent in isolation. God designed families to thrive in community. That's why church matters. That's why small groups and friendships with other believers matter, not because they solve every problem, but because they remind you that you're not the only one facing them. God offers rest, but he often delivers that rest through his people. Through a phone call from a friend or a word of encouragement in the lobby, a small group that laughs and prays together through all the chaos of raising kids. If you're feeling weary spiritually, emotionally, mentally, hear this today. You are not alone. God is with you. And he has placed people all around you to walk this journey beside of you. So join a small group. Reach out to another parent. Ask someone to pray for you. And make church a priority, not out of obligation, but because this is your village. Let's stop pretending that we've got it all together and start walking in the grace that Jesus so freely offers.